This video will discuss some of the key areas of concern when it comes to diets with high levels of sugar. Sugar is everywhere, but awareness of the issues it brings can be a huge step in making sure you don't suffer the same fate as many others. And first, we're going to discuss the effect of sugar on our dental health, and for that, we needed a dentist.
How do sugary foods cause tooth decay?
Sugar itself does not directly rot the teeth, as you might have heard. In fact, cavities are formed when the bacteria that naturally live in your mouth consume the leftover carbohydrates from the teeth. The bacteria produce an acid from digesting the carbohydrates that mixes with saliva to create plaque. The plaque leads to tooth decay, not sugar. The plaque can build up on the teeth and erode away your enamel, causing cavities to appear, which can eventually lead to tooth loss. Although sugar doesn't directly cause tooth decay, it is a carbohydrate that is easily formed into plaque. As well as this, foods with high sugar content can get stuck in the teeth, and this can cause a build-up of plaque. Foods high in sugar are also often high in acids such as citric acid and phosphoric acid. This can directly erode the tooth enamel.
What foods can cause tooth decay?
Sugary foods and drinks are the cause of tooth decay. Sugar in foods can occur naturally, such as in fruits and honey, and these can contribute to the decay of teeth. However, there are foods that have sugar added, usually by the manufacturer, which also cause tooth decay. Some of these are chocolate, sauces and carbonated drinks.
Will recent UK tax on sugary drinks implemented in 2018 have an impact on tooth decay in the UK?
We can predict that this will have an effect, as other countries that have implemented the tax on sugary drinks have seen a decrease in demand, which in turn should reduce tooth decay. However, the precise outcome is unknown. It is known in the dental industry that 2.5% sucrose solution will have an effect on dental plaque pH levels, enough to cause tooth decay. So the exempt levels of tax being at 4.7% sugar will most likely cause tooth decay in the UK consumers.
Seen as it's often perceived that children eat sugary foods, is tooth decay in children a big issue in the UK?
Tooth decay is entirely preventable. The more sugar you consume, the more likely it is that you will experience it. 31% of 5-year-olds in Scotland have had some sort of tooth decay, with tooth extraction being the most common reason for hospital admission within this age group.
So we've learnt about the effects of sugar on our dental health. Next, we're going to look at what happens to the excess glucose in our bodies that gets transported to the liver. So we know during respiration, glucose is converted to pyruvate through a process called glycolysis. We also know that pyruvate is actively transported across the mitochondrial membrane by a protein carrier molecule, where it undergoes a Link reaction, releasing CO2, and is converted by the help of an enzyme called pyruvate dehydrogenase into acetyl coenzyme A. And it is acetyl coenzyme A that is our precursor for fatty acid synthesis. Acetyl coenzyme A enters the Krebs cycle, where it bonds with oxaloacetate to form citrate. Where we face problems with fatty acid synthesis is that the enzymes required for fatty acid synthesis are in the cytoplasm of the cell. Unfortunately, we've evolved to have no means of transporting acetyl coenzyme A back through the mitochondrial membrane. We do, however, have protein carrier molecules that can transport citrate. Once citrate has been transported back into the cytoplasm, enzymes break it down into oxaloacetate and acetyl coenzyme A. Oxaloacetate is oxidized, releasing CO2 and converted back into pyruvate to be recycled by the cell. In order to oxidize oxaloacetate, something must have been reduced, and in this case, its NADP+ has been reduced to NADPH. As we said before, acetyl coenzyme A is synthesized into fatty acids. This is an anabolic reaction where molecules are combining. In order to do that, we require an input of energy, and this comes in the form of ATP. We also need some reducing power. As we know from chemistry, oil rig, reduction is gain, and because we're creating bonds between molecules, we need something that's going to help reduce our acetyl coenzyme A. And in this case, that's NADPH. The conversion of acetyl coenzyme A to a fatty acid is actually a two-step process. Below, I've drawn out the chemical structure of the molecules to hopefully give you a better idea of exactly what's going on. The end goal, however, is that palmitic acid will couple with a glycerol backbone and will be transported via very low density lipoproteins throughout the body as triacylglycerides, which is the chemical name for a fat cell. During the conversion of acetyl coenzyme A to palmitic acid, there are two key enzymes at work. The first of those, which is responsible for converting acetyl coenzyme A to malonyl coenzyme A, is acetyl carboxylase. The second enzyme, which is responsible for converting malonyl coenzyme A to palmitic acid, is fatty acid synthase. But most importantly, acetyl carboxylase is the rate-limiting factor in this process. It would therefore make sense that our bodies had some means of controlling this rate of reaction, and it does. In response to the presence of insulin, the body will increase the rate of fatty acid synthesis, whereas in the presence of glucagon, the body will decrease the rate of it.
Have you done the maths course?
No, have you?
No.
Is anyone here a doctor? She has diabetes.
Hi, I'm a real doctor, and this woman has diabetes. As we've just seen, this is then converted to fats. This can cause several health problems.
I thought you said you were a doctor.
These health problems can include a dramatic increase in the risk of type 2 diabetes. Studies have shown that abdominal fat is related to how fat cells release chemicals involved in insulin sensitivity. These pro-inflammatory chemicals can cause insulin resistance and lead to this disease. Insulin is a hormone that plays a key role in the regulation of blood glucose levels. Insulin regulates how the body uses and stores glucose and fat. Many of the body's cells rely on insulin to take glucose from the blood for energy. Insulin stimulates glycogenesis, the formation of glycogen from glucose. This process takes place when blood glucose levels are sufficiently high to allow excess glucose to be absorbed in liver and muscle cells.
Who are you talking to?
Other problems related to excess glucose and fat include heart disease, high blood pressure, tooth decay, bowel and breast cancer, and I said that like there was another one, but there isn't.